And now, words of wisdom.
there going to be on the restream anything where I have to worry about not having audio? Yeah, it's probably really high quality anyway. Okay, so then I won't worry about it. I'll just restream Discord chat. It's nice when you go back and watch the podcast for everybody, and not just one half the conversation. Also, we have.
We're live.
We're live.
Awesome.
What's up, Aaron?
Hey, Shadow. So this is Aaron to you too. I'm with Shadow, and we are getting ready to announce this very hype race between 6 very good racers. If you've been here before, you know them all. Shadow, if you want to talk for a minute. You know Dude?
I don't know Dude. Should I know Dude? Does he have any records or anything?
I think he has all of them, or almost all of them.
Oh, wow, that must be where I heard that name before.
He went on a little vacation, and then he kind of, from the game, and then he kind of came back and just hit category after category. I think I joked that he was on the Grief Chroma tour, because Chroma had a lot of records of these abstract categories, and then Dude came along and just took them back.
Yeah, I was just I just decided to make a little goofy remark about the presence of Dude, because I think since I started doing this about a month ago, I have watched I think a couple races that Dude was in. I think I found one on YouTube, Dude and Light, and I think I did watch one on one of Trav's Monday night streams where Dude was involved, but I've never actually been calling a race in which Dude was involved yet.
Nice. Well, you get to look forward to that, and they have started, so everyone is underway. It looks like everyone left on the right side today. That's pretty typical with all keys.
Yeah.
The beginning route, there shouldn't be very much divergence at all. I don't think any of these people will take shield early, so we'll see him get the magic container and then just run to get the heart container and then go to P1. But let's see what we can get as far as the lucky P bags go.
Got 1 in 6, so there's better than a 50-50 chance someone gets a P bag, right?
Yeah, nobody got it, so I would guess that's bad odds, but you know, you got to be pretty much in shape as far as that's concerned to get it. Chroma is choosing to go Trophy Cave route to make up for the lack of experience, which in an all keys run is pretty viable. In the normal West Coast races, you'll see people skip it because if they don't get attack 4, it's not that big of a deal, but when you got to go the rest of the game, that time loss can matter.
So it looks like we had some very circular paths. I think I saw like at least Riak and someone else just maybe didn't get the enemy spawn they were looking for, and they had to like run around to avoid them.
Right. And it looks Chosen is the only one I've seen that's for sure did not get the front bubble skip. It looks like Trav didn't try for it. Dude got his though on the way back, which is the way back is so much harder than the way forward. You can get lucky and get the way forward like half the time, but the way back you have to pretty much do everything perfect or have every possible option memorized.
Yeah, and that may have been what I was witnessing as they noticed based on maybe Riak noticed based on the spawn he got that he was going to need to make a certain maneuver in order to get the bubble skip, because then he was getting there at the same time Dude did, getting to the heart piece, that is.
Right. And yeah, it looks like both Dude and Riak got the double, so that is basically why you can see right now they're almost completely tied and ahead of everybody else, which is more or less to be expected. Riak, I think, killed the Gorilla, and Dude did not. That's the difference in their XP. Killing that Gorilla is pretty important to getting the experience you need to get Attack 4 out of P1. It's basically impossible, Vaughn, to not... Sorry, a little comment there directed at our chat.
And not getting Attack 4 out of Palace 1, would that indicate a different leveling strategy overall, or just that he's going to get those levels attacking Death Mountain anyhow?
You still have very good odds to not have any real disruption in your leveling, but it does slow down Death Mountain slightly.
Genius and madness.
Thank you for the raid, Future Rush. Welcome to the stream. We are doing a race right now of the All Keys category for Zelda 2 between these 6 very fine runners. And to answer your question, yeah, it does slow down some things. Some of these runners have done Attack 3 so much that it barely matters. Like, I think you'll see Dude, Riak, and even Trav, they do it so often. But the big difference is that you can't take really any extra life or magic levels if you do that.
Like
before the end of P2. He did. That was interesting. I don't know if he messed up something before. He might be looking to do a a death warp out of here, or maybe it was just getting stuck on the bot.
The smiling Cheryl is saying in chat that it was bots.
Bots. And not the Twitch kind. So.
Yeah. And then since I've recently started, no, it's not really recent anymore, although I'm not that far into the game, but it's also, I guess it's recent in so much that I have just started playing a 4 or 5 year old game about 4 months ago, but when I was playing Breath of the Wild, I wanted to call those choo-choos bots. Like, they're just bots. Why'd you give them a different name? But then I hadn't played any Zelda game between A Link to the Past and Breath of the Wild.
Just so you know, I actually have no idea what choo-choos are, so I've never played Breath of the Wild. I've abandoned Nintendo entirely. Vaughn, that was Trav. He got stuck up in the Chewy room on the bot and took a death up there. So when you take an early death in this, because it's not pure all keys, there is some consideration of possibly just game overing before you get too much further into the game. The rules when it comes to this in race categories, you still have to get all the keys, you still have to do the normal stuff. But right, Chosen, this is West Coast. Or not West Coast, this is all keys. So he might decide to do that rather than try to continue on. But it's a long run, so he might wait until he gets like another death or something like that. But I've seen people do it before.
Yeah,
and again, it's a race strat. It's not something like the run would be ineligible for the boards at that point.
No up and A allowed, but they are allowed to take a game over and continue the race.
Yeah, if you take a game over, then you just have to go back to the exact spot where you game overed, and that's it. Which, if you game over right before you get the hammer, that's pretty terrible. If you game over on purpose on like a road spot or something, it's not so bad.
Yeah. Like, if you were to maybe get the hammer and then cross the bridge on the way back, go into an encounter or something and take a death, or maybe take a death in the room where that next heart piece is, then you could easily get back there from the North Palace.
Right. And we got to see both Dude and React made it out of P1 with no real problem. Dude got attack 4, React attack 3. So you can see right now React is just slightly ahead of Dude, but you can kind of judge based on how they go from here, how that's going to change. Travis finished up, but he is also... No, he's got attack 4 as well, so awesome to him. Got both bags, I think.
So React may, when he gets to Death Mountain, just might take him a few more hits to kill some of the enemies, and might need to not take life or something where he needs it then, since he only got to attack 3.
Right. Oh, that is a good point. Yes. Yes, just ignore the fact that it says West Coast Race on the restream. I think he just didn't see that, so no worries. No one bother Trav. No one make him feel bad. So it looks like Chroma is far behind, but he's not, because he's already got the trophy. He got out. He's getting attack 4, and he will probably slip by Hippie before he gets to the jump cave, or to Jump Town. I don't think he's going to quite get past Trav, because he's already out of Trophy Cave. But looking at the levels, Chosen, he didn't get attack 4, and React didn't get attack 4, and then Hippie didn't get attack 4. I don't think Hippie even tries for it, though. Or if he does, he doesn't try very hard. He's so used to doing Death Mountain, low level, and other categories that I think it's just more in his wheelhouse to not worry too much about it.
Man, I've watched some, min leveling runs where I get to, I think, 131, which I guess is just enough to cast Thunder at Thunderbird.
Yeah, it's like a Zarnak special there. Play the game as the hardest way you possibly can imagine.
Yeah, anytime I've played through this game, I was always trying to come up with the strategies. How can I get to 888 as early as possible? Where are the best places to just sit there and grind, kill enemies over and over again so I can get like the max out of beating the next palace?
Absolutely. I never really figured that one out as a kid, but it's definitely that forest outside of or above P6 where you get to fight all those lizard guys that have 100 and 150 experience.
Ah.
Alright, so we see Dude sneaks out just ahead of React. Let's see how their walks go. This impacts a lot because this walk can be real tricky. Like, Dude just had a random fairy appear, and that can mess everything up, but he gets through fine. So does React. So no encounters to Bagu. That's awesome.
Yep, and they're both like, what, Dude is just walking out of Bagu's shack, just a split second ahead of React.
Mm-hmm. I would call that within the restreaming error capacity. So, Trav gets out, and he looks like he's got a perfect walk too. Yeah, good job. So he's currently sitting in third right now. No, he did take a death. It wasn't a very costly death time-wise. It might cost him some time later.
Yeah, where if he would like to take a death, or if he decides to go out of his way for a one-up that he otherwise wasn't going to grab.
Oof. Hippie got an encounter, but he got one late, which is the best way to do it. If you get an early swamp encounter, it's very hard not to get a second one. As you saw, Chroma just got two himself. So,
Yeah.
Hippie hit a second one right before Bagu. That's unfortunate.
Which, those swamp encounters for a casual player, I found those are a good place to level up early, where you can just kill those Octoroks for 10 at a time.
Yeah.
And actually, I can definitely see how those encounters are worse speed-wise for a race. I actually think, though, that they're the easier encounters than the grass encounters.
Yeah,
At least the small enemies, not necessarily the big ones.
I would say pretty much nothing on the West Coast is as quick for gaining levels as either diving through Death Mountain or just running through P2 and leaving and coming back.
Yeah.
There's some pretty quick ones you can do there too. So looks like nobody's having any real issue at this point. Dude's the first one out of Saria to go into Death Mountain. That's the advantage of being at Attack 4. Like, Dude just saw a bag and just left it. I mean, it was a small bag, so it was just a 50,
Yeah.
but the other guys would feel a little bit of pressure to do that just because if you get no bag luck at Attack 3, it's possible that you can't even get Attack 6 out of P2, and that, you know, we talk about Attack 4 out of P1, and it matters a little bit, but not having Attack 6 out of P2 kind of ruins the run. That's a situation where you might see people, just decide not to do certain things and try to wing it at some very low life level.
Yeah. And as well, once they are about to get the hammer, that's or right after getting the hammer is where they would want to get to Attack 5, right?
Generally, yeah. That's if you're at Attack 4, that's a fairly reliable spot to get it. Or excuse me, no, I said that wrong. Attack 5, pretty much you never get until you're inside of P2 unless you get a ton of bag luck. If you're coming in at Attack 3, you want to get Attack 4 right around the hammer spot, because that's where the experience should just be at. So if you're looking at the level difference again here, Dude took Magic 2 but skipped Life 3, so he's going to ride up to Attack 5. Riak has no other option really than to go to 3-1-2. Skipping Life 2 is pretty pointless because it's so cheap, and it matters quite a bit, so you're pretty reckless if you just go to Life 1 run, and the only person I've really ever seen do that in a race is Riak.
what? It looks like dude is just entering the cave to retrieve the hammer.
Yep, and if you're really careful, if you're really concerned about the leveling being right, you can always check on certain enemies that should drop the 50-50 bag or jar, and kind of see where things are going. Like React did not get a bag from that enemy coming into the actual hammer cave itself, so he probably not be able to get attack 4 till right at the end of the cave. Or actually, it should be the red guy here at the end, in the next room.
Yeah, now I'm looking at remembering that attack 5 is 2,000 points, and wondering what I was thinking when I suggested that you would get the next attack level right where dude is now.
Yeah, so you can see the difference between attack 3 and attack 4 coming out of P1 as well. Dude is leaving the hammer room with 1,100 experience, and Riak is in the hammer room, and he's going to have a little over 200 probably. Which is, well, he did get the bag drop there. His enemy drops are slightly off. So it's an 800 point experience difference off of whether or not you get one 200 experience bag to drop in P1.
So too many magic drops from the big enemies might hurt Riak and Palace too.
Yeah, that's a good point, Vaughn. Dude just basically cruised through Death Mountain. And the advanced players, a lot of them, they'll just tell you that Death Mountain is kind of like it's very difficult to beginners and entry-level players. But once you're used to it, it's not very tricky because the enemies are pretty manipulatable. The only really big challenge is the Red Dairas, and even then, like, you just see Chroma when he gets that hammer, he just double hit that Red Daira into oblivion. It didn't pose any threat to him whatsoever.
I think that first Red Daira is the one that just mows down casual players, and I think that's the point where the game gets its reputation for causing people to just throw their controllers off the couch and never pick up the game again.
Yeah, and I missed exactly what happened, but it looked like Hippie might have took a bit of a lava bath there, so he's down a life as well. Seeing people exit Death Mountain and see if they get that graveyard one up. I know Vaughn mentioned it earlier as an alternative, because a lot of times people will not get that at this level. Like, Dude just skipped it. But if you've already taken a death, it's a good way to compensate for it. But it's about 15-20 seconds, I think, to do it. And
so Chosen just going to get the magic bottle.
Looks like Dude's walk was basically perfect. He took the encounter that they expect to get, and on the road, and then walked the rest of the way with no problem. So that's the exit from Death Mountain to the Medicine Cave walk can be pretty hazardous, and you can get caught a couple of times. But he did not. React did not. Chosen took a bop in the. Oh, that's an unusual place to take a death. Wow, on the cave out of Death Mountain. Looks like he took a splash as well. And yes, Travis is my brother. Travis took the path down there and got that one up, so he's back to even as far as everyone else is concerned. That gives Chroma and Chosen a little bit, well, everyone behind him a little bit more leeway to kind of inch back in.
Yeah, so I mean, that where that death didn't cost so much time earlier, that probably cost him about another 5 seconds or so right there, just going for that extra life. Probably more than 5.
No, it messes up the manipulation out of Death Mountain, so it's really more than that. But it didn't seem like it hurt Trav any. He got there, no real problem. And Chosen went ahead and got the life too. Again, not surprising. I didn't see... Now, Chroma didn't take a death, excuse me. The other death was Hippie. I didn't see if he got it or not, though. Did he get the extra one up?
I did not see him getting it, and I feel like if we would have just looked right based on where he was, I think if we would have looked right when you said that, we would have seen him coming out of there based on where he was on the map. So
he took an unusual road encounter, but that doesn't mean anything necessarily. Some people take different paths out and try to spawn an encounter while they're still on the road to save them from what is a slightly random encounter once you hit the desert coming up that winding road. So
we'll see if anyone does say in chat whether or not Hippie took the extra life. I'm guessing that he didn't. Oh, it looks like Gob1 is now following Trav White, so thank you on behalf of Trav for that follow.
That was a very odd death to Trav. He must have been really weak coming in there. Yeah, he's reacting too. Usually don't see deaths in random encounters, so probably got pegged by a Megmat.
Those
Hit
birds.
by a boomerang at the edge of the screen or something.
A Megmat? I was actually wondering what to call those birds earlier.
Yeah, those little bouncing grasshopper things.
Okay, those guys.
Yeah, they're. It's a reoccurring joke of mine that if I ever make a ROM hack, there will be Megmats in like a narrow pathway that will be immune to hits and will have like barrier level attack power, which is the highest attack power of anything in the game. You know, just for fun.
That sounds like could be torture.
Thought they were cats.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone really knows what they are.
I wasn't sure if they were like spiders with like the face of some kind of a mollusk or something like that.
I will not actually do that, Fawn. If I ever do anything like that, it'll be probably one of the easiest ROM hacks you ever play because I don't like this game being any more difficult than it already is. Speaking of ROM hacks about Z2, if you want to play a good one, Resurrection of Ganon by GTM 604 is awesome, and you should totally do that. The music is wonderful by Bent Glass Tube, and I think pretty much the entire majority of like Zelda 2 runners who are still around played it and were like, this is good. Alright, so dudes made it in. Riak is just walking into P2. That's that jar there at the beginning of P2 always is there. It's one of the few jars that's always there in the game, so it's very reliable. And that lets you cast Fairy or whatever you want to do, or not get a magic refill leaving the magic town. So, which those things can save time. Watching dudes do that Chewy room is just so impressive. Like, see if Riak does something similar.
As opposed to the troll 50-50 containers that sometimes seem to never be 50-50, especially in the Great Palace.
Yeah. The Chewy rooms, the way these top tier players do them is just so impressive, because it's very hard to dodge the hammers unless you know exactly where they're going to be. So they're basically running on a line, and they can't make any mistakes in that entire room, or they can't do what they're doing.
Like, Chroma is now in Palace 2. Trev is going to be the next one to get there.
Yeah, I think Chroma's walk-in was pretty good, and the death that Trav took with the encounter that he hit kind of let Chroma slip by. And we see both Hippie and Chosen are leaving the Heart Cave, so they're setting their walk into P2 right now as well. Hippie got a bad encounter set, but he managed to dodge it, so GG to him for that. Took an encounter on the road, but that's like a half encounter. If you're going to take one, that's the place to take it. And Chosen got the entire way there, no encounter. He even burnt some tiles on the road square right at the middle to try to skip it. That's awesome. You have to know the game very well to be able to do that. So, dude is entering the bot room, the bot lava room, which is one of the more infamous RNG death spots, and he got through it fine. Riak has cleared it as well. Nice job, guys.
Yeah, so I always see people taking those leaps, and I'm like, you're gonna get hit, but they probably have to make up their mind what they're doing before they can see what's coming, and then just react to it if they get a bot jumping at them or a drip at the wrong time.
Riak skipped one of the orange knights there. He might be doing it specifically to make sure that he gets a bag drop on a lower experience enemy and not a higher one. His drops were messed up earlier anyway, so that might be why he does that. Otherwise, 50 isn't a lot, but the difference between getting a bag drop on a red knight compared to like a 30 experience skeleton is kind of big. Also possible he's forsaking the entire thing, but I think he's got enough experience. Yeah, actually, I think he's fine. The last room in P2 has 200 experience, and then there's 200 experience in the room before it.
Right.
It's a possibility of losing one of those things to a bag or a monster.
Could he be hoping for a magic drop, maybe from a big enemy at the right time?
Maybe. I don't think he's too worried about it. Did he just get a magic refill though? I think he just did there. So yeah, he knows exactly what he needs at this point. There's no real concern that he's messing up the math. Of course, I might just be jinxing him. Yeah, if you see Chosen up there, he chose to take the ferry route out of the bot lava cave. That's pretty popular amongst a lot of the players. Just to you get past the first jump, you take care of those 2 first spots, and then you just ferry once you get the key and say goodbye to that room. That's generally the safe way through it, as long as you can hit your beam at the right point.
I'm saying 1650 for Riak before that first elevator is the bare minimum.
Yeah, he needs, with the amount of experience that Helmet Head gives, he only needs 1950 on that register to clear. And although getting attack 5 beforehand is generally a time save if you can, just by the amount of experience that Helmet Head gives with the levels that he has.
So we're gonna see him grab that point bag, which is always terrifying for the casual player to go down and try to grab.
Yeah, no, he's not even gonna get it. Or no, he already did, excuse me. I'm a little off. Yeah, he's just gonna kill probably that orange guy because he's the one that's in the way. No, he'll take the red. The orange guy is really hard to skip. He did have to pause a little bit. We just saw Dude mow down Helmet Head. No problems whatsoever.
And Riak is on the way there.
Yep. In and out, no problems. Yes. No one at this point should have any leveling issues. Like Hippie has plenty of experience. Chosen's just got his attack 5, so at this point it would be a missed menu or some mistake to not get it.
It does look like Chroma is at Magic 2 and Life 3. Let's see, Trav is also at Life 3 at the moment.
Now we're seeing the encounters they're getting out of P2. This is one of the hardest walks in the game because there's no solid manipulation to get out of these things. It's just you try to mitigate the amount of encounters you get. You can count them, and if somebody gets a particularly safe walk against somebody who doesn't, they can get 30 seconds to a minute on everybody else just by that sort of luck.
We are just now seeing React and Dude go to get shield.
Yep. The shield, they put it off because of they like the walk out of Shield Town to P3. It's safer. They can manipulate that a lot better since it comes out of a reliable spot. But it actually loses time if everything goes perfect. But just nobody expects it to go perfect.
Right. Chroma just coming out of Palace 2 could not get back to a safe spot. Wound up getting an encounter there.
Alright. And Trav is the fourth one through Helmet Head, and then Chosen and Hippie are right behind him. So we have a pretty tight race between those three. Chroma's only got a short lead on Trav. And then Dude has extended his lead over React a little bit, but it's nothing that fancy.
Looks like Dude is just about to get to Palace 3.
If he's going through the copycat cave, the exact same cave that the Heart Cave has, except in that one room. In fact, there's even a way you can, I wouldn't call it glitch it, but the enemies won't necessarily respawn depending on how you do things. It's not a common strat for people to do because it means you have to put off getting the second heart container you find till after P2. But if you really don't want to fight them, it is an option.
And it looks like Trav has actually made up a few seconds on Chroma due to the walks back. It's like Chroma's had 2 encounters that were not in safe spots, where Trav had 2 encounters in safe spots.
Yeah, and Hippie caught up a bit to Chosen as well. I didn't see if that was from the encounters or the fights, but he's like 3 seconds behind right now.
But they are well behind the 2 leaders who are already hanging out in Palace 3.
Yeah. To kind of put a comparison for what our racers are capable of, I mean, Dude's the world record holder. He has a 73.40 something. React, I believe, has a very low 75. Chroma has a mid to high 76. And I think Chosen has a 77. Trav has a 78. And Hippie's time has not been worked on too much recently. He has a high 80, but he's definitely capable of a lot more than that. As you can see in this race, he's hanging with everybody else without any real issue.
And this part, we see React in Palace 3 always kind of freak me out that it has like an open courtyard that you have to go to get a key. I always thought I was doing something wrong because I was leaving the palace.
Yeah, that's something that the I guess you call it the ROM developing team, the ROM hacks, and the people who have made rooms for the randomizer have really done a lot with that too, where there's Palace 3 copies and stuff where there's just a lot of outside rooms now. In fact, I think in that rando you can actually fight Barba, the P6 Palace, outside, which just looks kind of funny, but it's nice. Breaks up the monotony of the background, which is always just the one color. So Dude got the Hippie jar. It's usually called the Never jar, but there's a certain strat you can do that Hippie has done that seems to make it more reliable. See if React tries for it. Yeah, he tried and he did not get it, unfortunately.
Yeah, some of those jars just never seem to be 50-50.
Right. You can see our runners who did not get attack, did not get attack 4 out of P1 had to do lower leveling, so now they're gaining levels in P3 that the other runners have already. And as a result, they're actually losing a little bit of time just because the leveling takes like 5 seconds.
But would you also be able to save time with strategic magic and health refills, or knowing when you're going to get those life and magic levels?
Yeah, absolutely. The normal strategy is to take Magic 3 in the bot lava room where Trav is, so that you can, because you usually don't have, or are on the way back, excuse me, so you can kind of get that magic refill right there. Because they like to cast Jump in that room, sometimes cast Fairy to get through the raft quicker. I think Trav thought about it and then just didn't get it quick enough, or didn't have the magic. Because if you, oh, excuse me, dude just completely annihilated Rebo.
Yeah, so it's 309. He places the crystal. I'm actually gonna try to keep track of times here.
The experience gathering after P3, if you leave P3 with the right experience, or really if you leave P2 with the right experience levels, nothing else is nearly as challenging.
Yeah.
But you still gotta be careful, like to not miss menu, but there's no other area where it's particularly difficult. P5, you just have to take one provision.
React just about 15-16 seconds behind, dude.
React's actually caught up a little bit leaving P3 because dude hit an encounter, which is, again, it's a hard one to skip, but it's still something that people aren't usually able to do, so that's a bit unfortunate. I don't think he would quite be pulling out the reset stick for that one, but...
No. If you're trying to lower a world record, maybe. Trying to just win a race. He's still got his lead.
Oh, yeah, definitely that.
And he did encounter a fairy walk into this cave, but it looks like he didn't mind just grabbing the fairy real quick to get his health back up to max.
Nice fairy encounters. They love to mess with you. There's not too much you can do about them either. If you see a fairy, you know it's a random walk, and all the other enemies, you can generally predict their movement because their algorithms are designed in a certain way that makes them predictable. Fairies have a 50% chance to move toward you or to not. Like basically, it's entirely random what they do. So they could decide to, you get a couple of bad rolls and they just home in on you, or they just go completely off the screen for whatever reason. They have a tendency to just kind of hover near you, though, which makes it really annoying. So looks like Chroma's about 4 minutes behind the others, with Trav about just about 30 seconds behind Chroma. And Hippie's
then
doing
about another
something
20-some seconds behind from there.
Yeah, he's doing something slightly unusual, and not that unusual. He's actually one magic level under compared to everybody else leaving P3. There's still a way to make that up. P4 has plenty of experience if you really want it, but it's just unusual, I suppose. An extra magic refill in P4 can help, especially if you're down a life like he is, because that can mitigate the need to take a death warp, because P4 is all about death warps.
Right, and that's where if they have the lives for them, they'll take 3.
Right.
All those rooms look exactly the same. It's almost like you feel like you're starting to lose your mind. Like, didn't I just watch the runner do that?
I was gonna say, it looks like after our first two, who are just extremely close, React and Dude. Trav says that React's on PB pace. Wow. That's pretty good at attack. At least I assume that's what he meant. That's pretty good at attack 3. But I saw him earlier. It was pretty close. Was it last night or the day before? About the same category. So his PB time, he's been working on it for a long time, and he's definitely capable of getting it. He just hasn't got the run where everything has went his way and he hasn't made the mistakes. So, and it looks like there's a pretty even split between like the distance between Chromaticalism and Trav and Hippie. And Chosen is just a couple seconds behind Hippie now. So, yeah, if you're doing the magic strat, like I just mentioned, getting that magic level, you really have to kill that lizard like Hippie did. But that's actually more or less put Chosen right even with him. That's the fairy saves about 2 to 3 seconds.
Trav, get into town. So yeah, there was only just over a minute split between third and fourth place coming out of Palace 3.
Yeah, it looks like Riak has passed Dude for the moment due to the encounters, but we'll see if Riak is able. He got a back spawn, so he's now taking the lead. It's a very good walk. I think this is the one that people call the Green Mile, just because it's so long, or as some people have been calling it recently, I think they call it the Elzad, the Reverse Dazzle, because there is some sort of manipulation for it.
Walking back from town to the maze, you mean?
Yes, the Dazzle walk is the walk that you do from the maze to the town, and if you see like everyone gets that extra turn and then waits there a few seconds, that's to set up the encounters, and it works fairly well. It's not perfect to get to get past that whole stretch without taking an encounter, but you can get through the first 2 enemy spawns pretty reliably.
It looks like Trav is getting Reflect while Chosen is getting the upstab.
Yeah. It looks like Hippie had some confusion about something with his magic leveling and had to sit there for a little bit, but he got in there now. The fact that he doesn't have his full magic after the magic refill is something that can happen with magic costs and with the lower magic level. And he probably cast Life or something one too many times. It shouldn't matter unless he doesn't have Fairy to get through the one room. It's a strategy that I see. Because there's one encounter screen that you have to get through in the maze that's unavoidable. There's the fall to get the magic container, but we'll see Chroma get to it here in a little bit. And I know I've seen Schmitty Games do it where he just casts Fairy in that screen and says, screw it, I'm not dealing with this. But he also leaves P3 at 7-2-4, which practically has no real difference between 7-3-3. Chroma's playing it very tight. He is almost dead right now, but if he might try to grind a jar at the beginning of the palace, or he might just cast Life and take the first death abuse.
And I saw Trav took some damage during one of the trap skips coming out of the village, where it looks like just didn't press down in time trying to downstab one of the enemies. But yeah, Chroma is hanging on by a thread.
Well, he has confidence in himself, that's for sure. But P4 is also not the hardest dungeon as far as getting random hits, at least the path that he's in right now. He might also choose to just cast like Fairy and skip the entire room. This room that he's in right now. Hi Darkemist, you are right. This is Alkeys, and this is a fairly large race for Alkeys. It is likely, we haven't heard any official word, but the yearly Z2...
And Chroma just went ahead and took his death right there after getting that. Actually, maybe not.
I'm not exactly sure what Chroma did there. That was odd.
Because he was a fairy, I'm not sure if
Oh, maybe he
maybe
fell. Yeah, he might have fallen and then cast
Yeah.
Fairy and then realized that won't do it, or he just got caught by the fire because
'cause he can't grab the key as a fairy.
right. That's awesome.
So
Dark.
yeah,
Yeah, this is my primary Z2 watching for the week. The Trav White channel every Monday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. Where not every week actually. I think next week is a week off. But
yeah, looks like Chroma is still a bit ahead of Dude. Just carving out their staircase and grabbing the key.
yeah, see if React takes every death abuse. Looks like he took the first two, which means he'll probably take the third one. That's the hardcore, like hardest strat. Like you'll see in Dude's world record run. Oh wow, React misleveled. Oh no, yeah, I just noticed that he did not mean to take Magic 4. That means that he has to get a lot more experience, and that's a hard one. So there's a few ways to do that, though. Actually, at Magic 4, Reflect is a little bit cheaper, and you could possibly, in one of these Skull Bubble rooms, just cast it or not Skull Bubble rooms, in the Wizroad rooms, and just chop them up.
Yeah, so took a few hits from that Stalfos, which was a shame.
You could also get that bag. That helps a little bit. It's not that much of a time loss. Yeah, and he's doing it. But he's still like at the 1200. Karok gives 300 experience. Weirdly, or 301, I can't remember. For some reason, he doesn't give as much as you would expect. So he still needs to get 350 experience on top of that, 355. Oh, never mind. Sorry, I see flashing, and I'm thinking that was on accident, but it's not. So he might still have to magic up some experience somehow. He wanted that bag that skeleton was on. The skeleton didn't move. I thought maybe he would punch that knight to see if it would drop something, but it didn't. Or, I mean, would spawn. If the knight spawned, he could kill that for another 100. Yeah, he's choosing, I think, to just kind of rush it here.
So, let's see, what's he at now? 545? Or is that 6? That's a 5. That's a 5.
555. And he got the full life refill there. Which
Crab
is
is low on life, just made a nice little turn with his shield to avoid damage.
he's having a rough go of it, and that bot was on him. He that was good to not get killed by that thing.
Yeah.
So I think at this point React if he doesn't have any drop on this red, he's fine. And he has enough experience. Yeah, he's good. He's salvaged it. But in the meantime, Dude kind of snuck the lead from him. Again. There is a manipulation for Karok now that's been kind of formulated, but it's not speedrun safe. It's very slow. So we haven't quite seen it come into play yet, but people are still working on it. They might find some sort of magic thing.
Yeah, I saw the YouTube video for that. The guy kept walking in the room and then walking out until he could predict one of a few patterns that Karok would take.
Mm-hmm. And
looks like Dude is back in the lead by just 2 seconds.
Yeah, Riak actually had a much better Karok fight than Dude did, and probably got 7 or 8 seconds back just on that. Which, RNG, you gotta love it.
It always scares me as a casual.
To a little bit. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's alright. I was just gonna point out that it always scares me as a casual, or I should say that it did scare me as a casual player, seeing them walk right by that heart and going straight to Palace 5, and then getting the heart out of Palace 5. But then it just made so much sense once I would see what actually happens with that, where they use their magic to use fairy to get to the heart piece, and then they are able to take their level right after that.
Yeah. Oh, and that's a very good point. React got Eco Key, Dude did not, and that's helped React catch up. If you fail an Eco Key, you lose about 18 to 20 seconds on the move, but then you also have to get the magic back, which is another level. So if Dude has his experience right, one of these guys, there it is, the 50-50. So he's able to get magic 4. If React had failed it, it would actually been a little bit more serious, because he wouldn't have... Because the thing is, with the 50-50 jar, if you don't get the jar, you get the experience, and then you just have to kill a Mago to level up to magic 4.
Chroma in Palace 4 now. Looks like he's pulling ahead of Trav in 4th.
And React is skipping... That is interesting. He skipped life 4. He was really low on life when that happened. Now he's got the magic refill, but... yeah, that's what I meant, Vaughn. Like, he didn't have that same opportunity, so he would have had a lot worse odds. I don't know if Magic 3 or 4 changes enough as far as Fairy and Jump Cast to impact it. Of course, the problem being that you need Magic to cast Jump in the Falling Block Room, which I think hit React pretty hard. It's kind of a meme that every block room just destroys React, unfortunately, in this Palace. I think he's lost PB runs because of that stupid room and all the RNG.
Yeah, so is there no manipulation for the falling blocks?
Nothing that anyone's figured out.
Those are very, very frustrating rooms to deal with, and it kind of makes you scratch your head why the developers didn't just like come up with. And there probably are a set number of patterns that it can have, but
yeah, I think that's there's certain things in Z2 that are considered just to be so unfair that they won't even put them in the rando, and I'm pretty sure that there's no new rooms that have been developed that use falling blocks. Like, they've just straight out said, no, we're not going to include those at all in the rando. We'll take the ones that exist. I'm not even sure if they're in there, but they're such a pain in the butt. Yes, Darkimus, that is a move called Eco Key. I'm not sure where the eco comes from, but I think the lore is that, is it? And we see Chosen do it right here. Yep, he got it. When you get damaged, if you get hit a certain way, it can knock you slightly higher. And they figured out a way to do that. I can't remember who it was. I know Bad Breaks was one of the people. Somebody did it by accident, and then they drunkenly kept trying it over and over and over until they figured it out. Oh, Pro JN, excuse me. There you go. And it saves about 18 seconds when it's done right, as opposed to skipping it. If you fail it, it's a little bit more. But yeah, Trav pointed out something important, that he didn't actually do it correctly. So and he'll cast Fairy in that room. You'll see React do that too. A lot of people do, because they know they're getting a magic refill right afterward. And there's actually quite a few magic refills in this one. All of the jars are guaranteed for whatever reason. There are no 50-50 statue jars in Palaces 1, 2, and 5. If they're going to drop something, they always drop a red jar. And that, if you look at the game code, they're coded on the same thing, but then 3, 4, and 6 are kind of on their same thing too. So there's enemies that you see that won't be in the other ones that are only in these. That's why you only see Magos in 5. They're not in 6, and they're not in GP, which makes them very unique.
And then so it happened a second ago, but I just had to say that watching Link get those bricks smashed on his head in the upper left corner for Chosen looks so painful. Like, I'm feeling his neck get snapped back while there's nothing he can do. He's got a column of bricks in front of him, a column of bricks behind him, and they just come pouring down at him.
Yeah, and to put that into context, when Link gets the Power Glove, he can smash bricks with his sword. Until he does, he cannot, but he can still smash them with his head. Yes. It'd be great if there was a model where that was a stab thing. And you see Hippie, he just killed a Skull Bubble to get Magic 4. That's specifically so he could cast Jump, because he didn't get Eco Key either. Now he's doing the block fall dance to try to get them to drop in the way he wants. And he's being picky, actually. I don't think he realizes he can just jump over.
Was he even trying to save magic there? Or did he no, he did cast Jump, didn't he?
Yeah. I think he just didn't think that the range would go as far. Anyway, it, again, probably spurred on mostly by Eco Key difference. Riak has finished. Oh, and he finished with life 3. Wow. So he didn't take life 4. I think that might have been a mess up, but it shouldn't hurt him at all. He'll get the experience and everything, no problem here.
Then we'll use Fairy here.
That's a good point, Vaughn. Hippie does a lot of any percent categories, stuff where you don't have to get everything. All keys is the get everything category. The only thing that isn't included here is getting like 1-ups and random jars and stuff like that, which, if Twin Galaxies was still making the rules, probably would be.
Yeah, have to collect every overworld item.
And that's a good point, Darkhamist. Guma hits very hard, especially at the level of life these guys have, like 4. They get like 3 hits, and that's it. When you fight Barba later, you get a few more levels, and it's not quite so bad that you can take a few more hits. The scariest part with Barba is falling in the fire. It's not Barba's fire. It's just not falling in the stupid lava pits.
Which I feel like that was the hardest part about beating him when I was younger, was just that, I'll just sit here and down stab him, and then it's like, he's dead. Now what do? I fall in the fire. Does it count? Did I kill him? But no, I didn't kill him. I beat him again.
Right. And if just to comment on something that happened there, if you notice on Hippie's screen, it got like graphically distorted and glitched there for a moment. That's a little trick that happens if you get the level up screen while you're getting an item. The game has trouble like negotiating the two, and it makes everything take slightly longer. Horsehead does not get all the keys in P1, thankfully. The category that the Big 20 did recently, or last year with Z2, was they did do that. They did a full P1 clear, which includes getting the candle first, which I think it was initially whatever, and then Dude pointed out that you could get the candle last and it was quicker, and then they nixed that and said you had to get the candle first.
Riak gets the first Lizalfos skip. Which
Nice.
always looks nice.
Yeah, these encounters are generally not too risky, but I think Dude misleveled in Firetown. I didn't notice that, but he's only got life 4. That is, that's not ideal. He might have, instead of going up or down to life, he might have hit up accidentally and went to the wrong thing. So that's something to look out for. P6 can hit you pretty hard, especially at life 4. You're not meant to ever be there at that level.
Right.
don't think that was on purpose.
Because I'm pretty
I
sure.
would have trouble finding a positive reason to do that. Like, he almost died here in the Tektite cave, and he still got one more to go.
And I almost feel like the devs expected the casual player to just level in order, level life first, and that the casual player would just be so desperate for life or magic by the time they were able to level that they would take it every time and not really think about the leveling system in the game as a whole, where it actually seems like they were intending, if you were actually going to beat the game, to figure out that, oh, well, the leveling, the counter moves the whole way up to the top level if I beat a palace, and that was actually the only way you were ever really going to get to Palace 8 or the Great Palace with 888 would be to take advantage of that system and skip levels.
Yeah, it's still pretty difficult to do. I don't think there's enough experience in P6 to do it, but with the amount of experience dude has, he could theoretically get the next level before he gets the crystal, which would even out some things, but no, he's going to be behind pretty much at this point, guaranteed. I don't think he can get. I'm trying to look at it. No, he could still get Magic 8, but I don't think he can get another life level. So he's looking at the rest of the game at life 4. Unless he's able to get 3,000 more experience, but that's he'd have to get like the 500 bag along the way, which nobody gets. And 700 from Barba, 1,302 from Rebo. Now that I say all that, or with Rebo, yeah, that's still 1,200 experience to get. I don't think he'd have to kill like everything in P6, but it wouldn't save any time over the normal strats. Sorry, I'm giving dude the benefit of the doubt here. Like if he did do it on purpose.
Yeah.
But maybe we're seeing a new strat today.
I'm not sure, because what he is at 6,000, and yeah, because none of the and that was always something that surprised me, is I expected there to be a lot more points available in the later palaces, and especially the Great Palace, and that was just like a kick in the face. Like the first time I ever got to the Great Palace and I wasn't fully leveled up yet, I'm like, well, there's no points here. These enemies are still only given like 100 points. It's like, and there's nowhere to grind either. There's only a handful of rooms where you can grind respawning enemies. So it's basically overworld grinding or bust.
Yeah, and I think
the palaces.
There, I love seeing that little damage boost that React takes. It's safer than trying to make the jump, although the jump's makeable. It's they call it the 3 tile jumps. If you want to get good at those, play Resurrection of Ganon, because there's quite a few of those that are required, and there's no other way to do stuff without doing it.
Because then these are probably the only... That's a 3 tile jump that he just pulled off there, and dude just pulled off the same. And those are ones that, like, when I was playing through the game recently, I would make them like 50-50.
Right.
And I'm like, if I go to the edge, then I fall off. If I try to... Or I mistime the jump, and I'm fighting that Stalfos down there. Yeah, it's makeable, but difficult.
Well, Duke got the slightly quicker Rebo kill, I think. So they're basically, within, again, like what I call the margin of error right now. So as long as that life level doesn't bite him, that's a great strategy to get back into this. I mean, each level, even if you do it in town, is about 4 seconds, and that's how close this is right now. If he had 2 more levels to give up, he'd be in the lead.
Right, and is it possible then that Dude would have skipped those levels in order to just be more aggressive and keep pace with React? And he's just planning on skipping them all together.
Well, it sounds like he did it to save time. I don't know if it's because he thinks he needs to or not. I don't know if these racers are paying attention to one another. They're allowed to, as long as generally the way races work is that there's no real advantage to seeing what your opponents are doing unless it's like a randomizer. So, but knowing him, he's probably not paying that much attention to anybody else because it's the sort of thing you got to be focused in on to get through. And then we get to see some fire strats here. Oh no, React.
And this is a scary room, watching them bounce off one of the flying horse heads to get over the lava pit. And I didn't see, but I wonder if that's where it happened.
Yeah, he didn't kill the heads. I think he had one of the fires slightly off. And like you saw, Dude just cruised through it. Everything went perfect for him. The way he aimed for it, and React just slipped and fell, more or less. Which, that means he's on his last life now. So he lost the lead, and now he's in like critical, I can't make a major mistake sort of scenario.
And Dude is heading into the boss fight.
Yeah. Rebo number 2.
Yeah, I should say mini boss fight.
It's so fun to fight Rebo like this, but about the end of the game, and you just straight up murder him.
Yeah.
And even early on in the run, Rebo is fairly dangerous. Like you'll see in West Coast races, most of the players still opt for the jackhammer in the corner strats, which is the safe and reliable way to do it. And I think my only notorious element from West Coast races is that I never do that. I always just try to kill it as fast as possible.
And on Attack 8, it's just so much fun to watch him get mowed down. I guess not really a bad guy. Creation of a former king of Hyrule to defend the Triforce from one who is not worthy. But it actually makes me wonder how that works. Because if that's the case, I kind of feel bad that they wind up getting dead, but they might not be real to begin with. They may just be not an apparition, but a creation. There should be a word for that if there's not, and I'm sure there is. I just don't know what it is.
I'm completely lost on that, but some of the comments in chat. Dude did the jackhammer strat on Barba, which if it's you can do it reliably, is about a second to a second half, I think, quicker than the safe strats. But you slip a little bit and you're dead. And it's there's a lot of people who got it down and they'll do it, and there's a lot of people that never bother. Like you saw, React didn't even try. It's just not worth it as far as he's concerned. And the ceiling walk that Chroma got saves about a second, maybe a second and a half. It's really difficult to do. You don't really see anybody do it reliably. But yeah, and React on his last life, and Dude on life 4. So both of them have a little bit of a challenge here. I don't actually know where Dude's levels are. I think he got the life out of Medicine Cave, but he doesn't always do that. Like sometimes he literally just goes hardcore and doesn't worry about it.
Chosen just took a death in that in that lava pit room as well.
Yeah, it's all the worst rooms in the game are either lava rooms or, in my opinion, the stupid Minecraft rooms. But that's more of a personal prejudice.
Chroma just getting out of the battle.
Yep. Chroma has had an extremely solid race. It's just he's getting kind of lost between the two groups right now, where Riak and Dude have charged out in front and have minutes on him, but he's gained just about 2 minutes on everybody else. You can see Chosen and Trav are in the same screen, basically on top of each other. So that's a heck of a race right now. I think Chroma's PB is a 76-40 something. He's pushing occasionally. He's not pushing like the same category over and over. I think it's kind of in his appetite to flip around with a lot of stuff. He's here, he knows.
Yeah.
So, but he wants that 75. I think that's still on his radar. He thinks he can get it. I think he can get it. The good thing about this category, Darkest, is that everybody's first PB is expected to be terrible. I'm an 84 PB, which is not great, but I started. I think really my first completed run was like 2 hours and 11 minutes, and then I think like the next day I got like an hour 48 or something. Like you can make up stuff really quickly once you iron out a lot of the rough spots.
Chroma almost got hit back into the water, and then second time not quite as close, but it still looks terrifying.
Not sure. I think Chosen seemed like he thought he killed Barbara or something, and then I don't know, maybe he had a fly on his nose. He just kind of missed a cycle there, which let Trav come back and take the fourth place from him.
Yeah, because they were right at about the same spot. Killing the previous Rebenak, it looked like they were just killing him at about the same time.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that, Vaughn. Hippie fell in the hole, the Canada hole, which is not a place that you want to be. Like he was very careful there to not let it happen again. It is a massive time loss, like a couple of minutes, because you have to go all the way back out and then you have to make the jump again. That's unfortunate, and that kind of buries him where he is right now in the race. It's going to be difficult at this point to catch up to anybody. So I missed most of VOD, but it looks like Dude and Riak are both well into GP now.
Yes, and say that looks like Trav was getting Thunder just ahead of Chosen.
Yes, it's good that he's got Thunder now, so that he can finish the game.
I've heard that somewhere.
Sorry, far be it from me to steal anybody's trademark line.
That's alright. I'm pretty sure I did the same thing last week. Vaughn noting in chat, ladies and gentlemen.
He was talking about possibly sitting this one out and doing comms if there was one more person running, just because he doesn't have a thing to do more than 6 people at a time, and so we might have got to hear it. I haven't heard him do an all keys run, or at least I haven't been paying attention at that point to see if he still says it. Oh gosh,
well,
no.
I haven't seen him do all keys on stream in a bit, so he may not have, or if he did stream it recently, I missed it.
I think he's just been very busy in real life and hasn't had much time. I said real life. Wow.
Yeah, this is real life.
Zelda 2 is life.
It's just, you know.
Yeah, very good point.
It's just a hobby.
Dude's getting hit pretty hard right now, and I don't think he can take a hit from anything without dying. Now, finishing the game without taking a hit is something he's definitely capable of, but he might end up taking... No, I don't know how many lives he has. Yeah, he's
still ahead at the moment.
He's got to be careful. He can't cast life. He needs every little bit of magic. Yep, I said that, and he cast fairy, which is probably better. So he's going forward. He's oh, is he on death abuse? If he has the extra life, then that would be the plan. It's quicker than casting life a bunch and then, you know, doing something else or not. See, again, I don't know that... I didn't see Dude get the life out of Medicine Cave. I wasn't paying enough attention at the time. Okay, now he's going for the Jari. He must not... And he got it, so... lucky for him. Riak is still a couple of screens behind.
But also low on life and does not have a death to take.
Oh, he's going to go for it. I don't think there's any situation where he goes and gets that jar. Yeah. These guys are both plenty capable of getting through Thunderbird without taking damage. You see Dude just one-cycled him, just completely demolished him, humiliated Thunderbird. He skips life 5. Oh. Riak did have one hit to
Riak
give.
took a hit.
So...
Oh, there we go.
The question will be, even if he gets through this, will Dark Link behave? Because you get a bad thing from him, and that could be all over. Watching Dude here.
Yeah.
The fight with Dark Link can be 100% scripted, but you have to time everything right. And he did.
He takes fire. Does fire help against Dark Link?
No, it's just a spag strat.
Okay.
So Dude has finished with a time of 1:15.54. He is our champion today. But I think we're all kind of just staring at Riak right now with his one hit point.
Do we know if he's still on PB pace?
No.
Got him.
Riak's PB is a low 75.
Okay.
And he is finished with a 1:16.18. GG to Riak. GG to both of these guys. Very good race run. Anything 75 in a race is enough to win almost every single race. And just as a reminder, Riak is our
beat up down there.
Our 2-time all keys runner-up. I think he finished second place in the last 2 tournaments. I was actually commentating the finals last year, him and TGH, and it pushed to a third one, and it was tight.
And it looks like Chroma's at Thunderbird as well, about to finish up.
Yep, he is
secure third place.
He is doing jumpless strats. As a rando player, that tends to be more comfortable because you never know if you're going to have jump in the randomizer or have enough magic, because T-Bird just shows up, you know, there.
Yeah. I can't even imagine playing a randomizer and in general. Like, I'll watch them. Like, I've been watching a lot of A Link to the Past randomizers lately, and sometimes I just have no idea what's going on. I just know they're all facing bosses in palaces or in dungeons where they don't belong.
Yep. And now it's Chromaticalism's turn to see if he can get through. Oh wait, he finished.
Yeah.
I'm so far off. Chroma's finished with a 78.01, so pretty good race time for him too.
Yeah, just over 2 minutes spread then between first and third.
Yeah, he was about 2 minutes behind out of P3, and just kind of stayed even with him. I mean, both Dude and Riak did some stuff that lost him time in the second half of the race. Riak, the miss level and a death, and I think Dude had some just small issues here or there, but so GG's to him as well. Like, the last half of the race is pretty important, you know. On Riak clarifying, it was a Mew that took him out in the fire room, which unfortunately you can't hit with the fire. It'd be great if you could do like a low beam fire strat that, you know, nick the Mews at the end of the room, but unfortunately it's not a thing.
Yeah, and they just jump out at you and there you go into the lava.
Does Trav have a life? No, I do not think he does. If I remember right, he died somewhere along the way too.
Yeah, and he did pick up another extra life, but then had a death in one of the encounters.
No, I thought he
going
died
to
in
the medicine bottle.
Yeah. Well, he got the extra one, but I think he died in P6 or something. No, I think you're right. I didn't count his death abuses though, so I'm not actually sure. But he took T-Bird out pretty regular. So did Chosen.
Yeah.
I think Chosen might have got a little faster. So we're looking at again, it's all about can you handle Dark Link, and it's also possible that his stream might be ahead. So I'm staring at the timer here to see who finishes first, because it's quite possible that there might be a timer discrepancy.
Yeah, it's usually about 3 seconds though.
But yeah, not enough. Yeah, not enough of one. Trav White has finished in 4th with an 80.08, and then Chosen is finishing up right now as well. He's finished with an 80.17, so GG's to both of them.
Now it is just down to Hippie to finish up the race. It's almost through the Great Palace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's taken an early. You see, Chroma's looks like he's gonna do some horsehead practice or something. Hippie took the early Magic 8 to have it for because he used spell strats, I think, through VOD, which is the much safer way to do it.
Okay, there he goes. It's always frustrating to try to swipe those bricks and they just don't break.
Vaughn thought he was going to get out of this without getting blamed. I don't know if he just saw Chroma's title on his character. Oh, Hippie took a death.
Hippie is down to 1 life now.
He's got to pretty much run rails now. No magic use, unless he's going to grind for that last jar, which might be worth it. This isn't a PB chance anymore, but it's probably be nice to finish.
Yeah.
Yes, Chroma is doing horsehead percent. I think he's trying to go full swag and get like a PB and bop some people in here at the end of the race while they're all watching.
Well, let's see what he can do, but I mostly want to focus on Hippie here. Oh, what? Not sure. Hippie is trying to kill off those skulls, I guess, to just clear them out of there so he can comfortably grab the magic jar.
Right, that's not an uncommon strat for most people in GP. The stuff you're seeing Hippie do is kind of the stuff like I would be doing in this race, not
right.
the really advanced strats you've seen some of the other ones do.
Safe strats.
Yeah, because GP is hard.
Yes.
It's not the hardest part of the run, but it's hard. I would say for most people at the 80 level, it's usually VOD can be a gigantic pain in the butt, and certain elements of the early game, P1 and P2, can sometimes take random deaths there, just because you don't quite have some of the reflexes and stuff down. Now Hippie's above that. Like I said, his time right here, this is bad for him, and he's someone that I know with a little bit of effort will join the sub 80 club. And Link is very angry at the walls right now.
Just slashing away at him. And forth. And that bot and fire were not nice to him right there.
Yes, Vaughn brings up an important point. And if you were to look at Hippie's PB and compare him to like people who are kind of in that same range, like I think Vaughn's PB, if it were still on the board, is actually better than Hippie's. So that obviously means something is wrong.
Does Hippie potentially have a sum of best that is significantly better than some of the other top scores out there?
It's not just that; it's that he's done so many other categories and just hasn't been doing AK. Like before, if I recall right, at this time last year, Chroma joined the AK tourney and then never actually did anything with it. And like I think he was in a couple of races or something, and then never finished it because Z2R was going on at the same time. He was kind of making that his focus, and his.
The horse had killed off Chroma up there, so he started over.
That's a shame. But his time was, his PB was right about the same as mine. I haven't improved my PB since then either. And I watched him do Z2R, and I'm like, I think, what did I say? I told him I thought he could get like a 77 or a 78. If he put those skills to use, and he did. The way I said that, it sounded like I'm his mentor or something. That's not true. But that was my prediction. It was like, I've seen Chroma do Rand. Oh my gosh, this guy can torch these categories. And then ever since then, he went through and pretty much hit every category in the game and did a number on a lot of them. So we could see Hippie finish it off.
Link.
Yep. No whammies.
Only one hit left. There he goes.
And he got him.
Got him.
So GG to Hippie, and what was that?
85-41.
Yep, and that finalizes out. 85-41. So GG to everyone. The race is done. No massive disaster. No game overs.
Yeah, nice to see everyone finish this week. Last week, only half finished. Had it due to a couple game overs.
Yeah, and no game overs. Everything, there were mistakes, but everybody recovered from them and managed to figure it out. So, GG to all of them. And again, this is kind of what I would call preparation for the Zelda 2 All Keys tournament, which there's been no actual notification for. Last year, I think it started in early October, maybe. I seem to think we had some week where we skipped Thanksgiving and then kind of had to crunch to get it done before Christmas. So this is a great opportunity to do that during the full All Keys time. Vaughn Chosen finished with an 80-17. He was 9 seconds behind Trav. But that's what the West Coast races, which we normally do at this time, or at least that's the standard thing. That's what they were all about, is getting people like preparation for All Keys and getting in that, getting that stuff down. People who might be on the fence about joining, if you can do the West Coast run, you can figure out the rest. So
I'm just going to go ahead and type everyone's times in the chat here.
Okay.
So that everyone will be able to see that.
What's up, fellas?
Hey, Trav. Nice race.
GG's, everyone.
GG, Trav.
Man, that was some exciting racing, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A lot of place changes along the way.
Yeah, I had especially Dude and React traded places after Palace 3 like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, it was some solid racing by everybody involved. It was I'm sure it was a lot of fun to watch. I wasn't actually watching where everyone was on screen, but I could see chat, and React was in the racer comms with me, and so we were chatting back and forth, and like when he misleveled, we're all putting our heads together, okay, what do we do now type thing, so...
Yeah, we were saying he was like in PB pace or something pretty close to it before that, and then it just hurts, when it winds up in that sort of scenario. But he basically figured it out. I think I'd mentioned on the comms, like the scary part was if he had failed Eco Key and then didn't get the 50/50 jar, he'd have to grind to Magic 5 to get a refill. because he already had Magic 4, but that wasn't a problem, thankfully.
Yep. Well, with that, I'm going to sign us off here for the All Keys / West Coast races. If anyone out there watching would like to get involved in the West Coast races, that is just the first half of this race. We race to the P3 gym. We do that 3 Mondays a month. We're taking next Monday off, but we'll be back at it the following Monday, and we will hopefully have some more runners. Shadow, Aaron, what are y'all gonna be getting into this next week as far as streaming?
I'll be probably doing Super Mario Brothers 35 and Breath of the Wild.
And I will be, I have a Dragon Warrior randomizer tournament race tomorrow at noon, which I am not prepared for against a longtime veteran, so it'll be good. Yeah.
Well, good luck to you with that, Aaron.
Yeah, good,
Thank you.
good luck, Aaron. And I want to thank everybody watching in chat, and I appreciate all of y'all. And with that, we're going to sign off. Thank y'all so much. We'll see y'all for more West Coast races in week after next.
Yeah, peace.
Have a good night.